Hey guys, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matthew Trefiak. I work here at MJT Cattle Company. I help run and show cattle and the whole operation. I've been to some pretty cool places across the world from cattle showing. Do it professionally, and I've been in 4-H since I was 9. I'm also a provincial ambassador, and I've judged a few 4-H shows and taught quite a few clipping clinics. But today we're going to go over how to start washing your 4-H animal. I know that it's virtual this year and everything's not in person, but it's a good skill to have, and you really want them looking the best possible for their picture anyways, because the buyers do like to see that. So to get started, we're going to go over just a few essential, tools that we're going to need for washing cattle. First and foremost is definitely going to be your pail and your soap. If you're just kind of doing it, this is your last year, a pail is a good way to be able to mix in soap. I just use Dawn dish soap. It's a little more gentle on the skin than Sunlight. You can also use Sunlight if you're really doing it on a budget. But just a little bit of this, mix it in with water. I'll show you how later in the pail. And that's a great way to soap your animal down. If maybe you're thinking of doing this and you're just starting out and you're thinking of going for the long run or looking into doing it long term and doing some professional cattle shows or whatever, you just want to get washing done and over with a little quicker, the Weaver Foamer is definitely a great tool to have. It just comes with an end for your hose, and you just clip it on and you can soap the animal down. The next tool in our box is a hand comb. It's a little different than your typical horse one. Those work great as well. But this is just really good for getting the soap down into the skin and getting the dirt out. The other two tools that I like to use are a metal skip tooth and a black comb, this plastic. The skip tooth is great for pulling poop tags off. You can see the steer here has a little bit on his legs. We got most of it off beforehand. He's been tied up a few times, but it's not a big deal. We'll get those off a little later. They were definitely a little harder, and it's just somewhere where they're more likely to kick. I like to use plastic ones when I'm washing, non-skip tooth on the body, because it really gets all the dandruff out when I'm getting the soap in, and it kind of just splits the hairs a little more fine. When it comes to afterwards, I'd like to use plastic skip tooth on the body because it doesn't scratch the hide, and then they're less prone to long-term damage or dandruff. So that's just personal preference. Some guys, there's nothing wrong with using a metal one, but if your steer's not used to a comb, maybe it's better to go with something a little gentler on the hide to start with. But that's just me. So to get started, this steer's been tied up a few times. He's not really pulling on the halter, but I like to tie them so that their head's up high. It's nice and high so that it just trains them, whether they're in the show ring, whatever, they're going to have the strength and be able to do that all day. So it makes, when you get to halter breaking them and leading them around and teaching them the showmanship stuff that you're going to do in the ring, that makes it really easy. If it's the first time, I like to tie them down so it's about level with their neck. Then if they pull and flip over, they're not going to strangle themselves. That's just something, it's personal preference.